Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5 minutes past the hour on this 16th day, 16th day of September. It is Tell the Truth Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of hashtag Truth Be Told slash JD Live, your early morning get up, wake up. Motivation in the morning. We've got information, motivation, inspiration, and conversation that gives us elevation. Good morning, family. The very word for this morning, I can't find it at the present moment because yesterday in our news, Black news, HBCU news, though this did not occur at a historically Black college, but it did happen to deal with an individual who is a young Black man who going to a university very close to one of our historical Black colleges. College is Delta State. You don't know where Delta State is. It is in the Mississippi Delta. Um, it is the home of the quote unquote statesman, better known as the Fighting Okras. Well, on that campus yesterday morning, around 7:05 a.m., there was a young black student, male, who was hanging by a noose from a tree near the central campus pickleball courts. 21-year-old student. Everything we have going on in this world at this moment, to have a black man found hanging on the campus of Delta State, knowing the history in that area of Mississippi, uh, knowing how folks were feeling once this news got out. I actually received the news from an alumnus of Mississippi Valley, which is not too very far from Delta State. Mississippi Valley is in Itta. I believe Delta State is in Cleveland. I believe. I have to Google and look that up. But I'm going to get into that conversation. Of course, we woke up also this morning finding out that Israel has did a full ground invasion into Gaza City. So as many of us wake up getting our children ready to go to school, getting ourselves ready to go to work, in certain parts of the world, they are literally waking up to war at their doorstep and fighting for their lives. I want that to sit in and resonate with y'all for a minute. We have been engaged in this conversation about Charlie Kirk and this guy who shot Charlie Kirk and his affiliations and orientation. And there are also folk around the world who are right now suffering war, famine, and other issues, disease, homelessness. Tell the Truth Tuesday, family. 9 minutes past the hour. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, is in the building. We are broadcasting live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on Twitter X. Catch us on our YouTube channel. We are at 100 BLK Media on YouTube. We are at all the other platforms, Instagram, Twitter, X, and Facebook at the JDMS. On this Tuesday, I know y'all are like, man, Joe, you're normally very upbeat, very holly-golly, very jolly, but today, y'all, I just don't know. The news of the young black man being found hung. Now, from all the reports coming out, they're saying it's a suicide, but also I'm getting reports that the man's legs were broke. So I don't know how people with broken legs can hang themselves, but we're going to try to get more information. I'm not in here by myself. I'm always in here with some friends. I'm thankful that I got a good brother down in MIAO, Dade County. I'll give it up for my brother, Dollar himself, Brother Bowtie. Good morning, Brother Bowtie. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning, Joe. I hope we both feel better this morning. But I was reading that article and I was looking at it on the news. I'm just gonna say that math ain't mathing. But
No, it's not at
yeah,
all, at all for
yeah.
me.
In my mind, I know it's not suicide because he's originally from Grenada. So if you come here, this is like a plus for anyone who actually comes from most countries, unless it's a European country. If you come here, you go to school, this be some of their dreams, to come to America, go to school and stuff like that. So I believe he was living the best life, but yeah, quite interesting what's going on.
I really want to get into this conversation, but I don't know where go into it. So we'll probably be very earnest with you. I'll probably really get into that conversation when I have more information.
Or later on
And
this week.
right. Later
Yeah.
on this week, just know that a young 21-year-old man that could have been your son, my son, uh, probably a lot of our listeners' son, uh, was found hanging
Mm.
from a noose. From a noose.
You know, it's the body language of the cops, though. When you
Well,
look
I,
at
I
the
can't, I
interview,
can't, I can't comment to that because once again,
no,
I
no,
need
no,
to
no,
get.
no, no. I'm not saying whether it was suicide or whether it was, something like a blunt trauma or murder or something like that, or
Right,
a
talk to
racist
me.
issue. It's just the body language of the cops that I was paying attention to, and I was like, yeah, it's not looking good, regardless of what it is. And
Um,
oftentimes when you work in a police department, especially when you're a particular police chief or you're a publicist for the police department, you have to represent this city more than you represent yourself. So, but I was just
uh,
paying to the body language, and all the details not out. Just that based off what I read off the body language, the math
so
ain't math.
let me. I just have to. This is with a heaviness because I couldn't be the parent who got the notification. So I don't know how well y'all can see it, but let me go ahead and just. Uh, Here is the Bolivar County Coroner's Office, the official statement from the Bolivar County's Coroner's Office on September the 15th, 2025 at approximately 7:32 a.m. Bolivar County Coroner's Office was notified by the Cleveland Police Department regarding an unresponsive individual on the campus of Delta State University. At 8:08 a.m., representatives from the coroner's office arrived on the scene and observed an unresponsive subject hanging from a tree. No signs of life being displayed. The individual was pronounced deceased. The next of kin was notified. Individual has been identified as a 21-year-old black man. Current time, we are conducting a thorough death investigation. Based on the preliminary examination, we can confirm that the deceased did not suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with an assault. At this time, there is no evidence to suggest the individual was physically attacked before the death. The remains of the deceased are in the care of the coroner's office and will be transported to the Mississippi State Crime Lab for an autopsy. Further information will be provided once the autopsy results are finalized. We ask the community to remain patient with the coroner's office and other investigating agencies as we work to gather all the pertinent facts surrounding this investigation. Additionally, we ask that you respect the family as we navigate through time. On behalf of the Bolivar County's Coroner's Office, we offer our sincere condolences to family, friends, entire Delta State. Signed, Spirit of Transparency, Rudolph, better known as Rudy Seals Jr., coroner there in Bolivar County. So, as I just read it, because there was rumors out there of course,
Lynching.
mentions
Public.
of
Yeah.
yeah, that the young man was found with his legs broke. The coroner did not verify that, said that there was no themes of any struggles or any type of attack. They're probably leaning very much toward that this young man committed suicide. Um, we just gonna have to have some serious conversation. You know, the
And, and,
symbol
and
of
and it could be, Joe. He could
right,
have
right, right.
committed
He could have
suicide.
had some serious mental issues, and we
Yeah.
don't know. So we once again, unlike some of our counterparts who wants to jump off and say this was a liberal conspiracy and look at this and look at that. I'm just saying a young black man hanging from a tree in the state of Mississippi is never a good look.
It goes to my no. the video that I posted yesterday when we got off the air. Yeah. When I said good old racist Mississippi, good old racist Texas, Arkansas, you don't want to touch these things, but when you do your own research, and I did my research, these states are listed as from the FBI as the most states with the racist groups, whether it be Antifa, alt right, Proud Boys, whatever. But t- we have to be honest with ourselves about something. Joe, I have to be honest with you. Now that this kind of Charlie Kirk thing is getting over and kind of bypassing, I'm not looking at it. I'm not feeling sorry at all for whatever happened to him. I'm just gonna be honest. But what I would like to see happen on both sides of the party, I would like to see both of them change their rhetoric, because I think they often with their rhetoric endorse political violence. You
They do.
know,
They do.
you
I
know,
mean, I mean, people need to just watch how they're talking. We're
yeah.
all human beings. This weekend I ran into a great human being who made it clear the only difference is the melanin color of our skin. That's it. We all have the same appendages. If you're male, you have the male anatomy. If you're female, you have the female anatomy. At the end of the day, we're all the same. We might be different sizes, shapes, different hues and colors of melanin, but we're all human beings. And I
Mm.
don't know, does it take really somebody coming from another planet, another universe, another dimension to all of a sudden come here to unite us, to make us understand there's no difference between me and a person who happens to look like me, who happens to be non-melanated, who's not black, they're white. We
Or
are
or or,
all
or
human
I
beings,
won't even, I won't even say another planet, Joe. Just another country.
right?
Another country. See how we supposed to do things. Joe, I pay attention to a lot of things, and what I think that we go wrong with is it start before we even get in the seat. Oftentimes, even in your local city governments, they issue out personal attacks which create hatred, which create anger, like, hey, you done got into my personal business, you done leaked that I done cheated on my wife, or you done leaked that I done lost my job because I stole something when I was 20 years old, stuff like that. So it's personal attacks, and they go all the way up until they actually get in the seat, and the attacks don't stop, because
Right,
that person who lost, they still want their get back, and the person
right.
who won, they still trying to show the person that they lost that, hey, I'm in control of this stuff. But I believe if we change our rhetoric when we do have these debates about commissioner seats, mayor seats, whatever kind of seats that we're running on, if we just stick to the topic of the subject without doing any personal attacks, I believe that some of our anger and some of our political violence will go all the way down. The way that we feel towards another political party, I don't even think we'll have that much anger. I believe, and I'm from the outside looking in, but some of my anger, some of my frustration when it comes to other parties, and whether it's Democrats, because there's Democrats that I don't like, there's Republicans I don't like, it comes from oftentimes personal attacks of the way that they carry themselves. It doesn't come
Well,
from them actually debating the issue. Like, it could be a
right.
simple question: how do you plan on cutting the budget? What the hell somebody going on vacation got to do with cutting damn budget? But some ways they involve someone personal attack, how they took money and how they went on vacation.
Right,
But
right. Because I think people, as we are 20 minutes past the hour, I think what people know is in today's society, in today's climate, we love drama. And guess what? If I can make you look more at the person's personal drama than the business at hand, you'll pay more attention to the personal drama than the business. And that's where I can do whatever I want to do to make the business work for me and those who I'm connected to who cut checks, because being in politics is a check cutting business. In order for you to run for an office, you got to do a lot of advertising, and advertising is not cheap. People have to cut you checks. People have to go to your donation drives. They have to go to these parties, these big elaborate parties that are set up, and these parties ain't cheap. And advertising is not cheap to run for office. Uh, Running for office is a check cutting, is an exchange of money for services. When people write you $1 million check to go into your war chest to run against whoever or for whatever, they're not cutting that $1 million check not expecting that when you do get in office, you don't remember who cut that $1 million check, and
Mm,
that you do legislation that help them and their business and their endeavors do better. See, the problem is a lot of us don't understand what politics is and what politics does. That's why they can sit there and tell you your vote don't count and don't go vote, because you're not cutting checks.
mm,
You're not cutting checks. You're not right. How many of you have wrote a check to a candidate and said, here's a check
mm-hmm.
for X amount of dollars for your campaign, for you to go out there and win this campaign because I'm financially supporting you to win the campaign? See, you got to understand, the power of the dollar is a monster. The power of money is a monster. And if you're not a person writing checks, what are you doing? What are
Mm,
you doing? Because either you're writing checks and investing, or you are a individual who is a consumer, and all you are doing is taking money out of your household and buying, buying, buying. Either you're investing or you're buying. Which one are you? Let's go there this morning. 22 minutes. 22 minutes past the hour. Since all of y'all get on here and y'all Facebook lawyers, y'all Facebook doctors, y'all are Facebook investors. So here's my question. Uh Riddle me this, riddle me that. Why are y'all not on here, especially those of you who are financially sound and have achieved financial freedom? Why are you not on here freely giving that information to free other folks from the bondage of this system? Because it is the system of debt and poverty that causes injustice. That's what causes injustice, the haves and the have-nots. If you think about it, an individual can cause a heinous crime and have enough money to get the right legal team, and he can be or she can be exonerated from that crime, because the team will find a way to work the system, because the system says you are innocent until proven guilty. And if you have to go before a judge, a group of your peers, 12 people, you might find, because in Louisiana, all 12 of them got to say you're guilty. If you got enough money with a good enough litigation team, they can convince one person on there that they ain't got all the evidence. You're not
mm-hmm.
100% guilty. There is some reasonable doubt here that maybe you didn't do what they say you did in the manner they said you did it. But if you don't have that type money, then you get a public defender, a great attorney rising in the ranks, but they just got out of law school. A lot of public defenders not making no more than $35,000 a year in the state of Louisiana.
State of Florida too.
35,000 a year,
Yeah.
between 26 and $30,000 a year, to represent you in a life or death situation where you have been accused of murder. You have been accused of felony
Wrongful
theft,
robbery. Yeah.
of armed robbery, where you have been accused of major drug trafficking. If you don't have the finances to get the right individual in place to defend you in front of the court system, chances are better than good you get what you pay for. In other words, in most cases, it's hard to race a Yugo. If you got Yugo money and all you can afford is a Yugo, it's hard to race a Yugo against a person who has money who can buy a Formula One Ferrari. Y'all can both get on the same track, but I promise you, the guy in that Formula One Ferrari, when they say get ready, set, go, you gonna punch that Yugo, and he gonna punch that Ferrari, and he probably gonna be there, did 6 laps around you before you even do your first lap. Those are facts. We got to start talking economics. That's the problem. That's, to me, the biggest problem. We don't talk economics. We don't talk shared economics. And those of us who have achieved the utopia of financial freedom and success, we don't go back and tell folks how we did it. And the only way we tell them how it is done, and I'm getting ready to send it to you right now, Sean. The only reason we tell them how it is done, and I need Sean in here. We definitely need Sean in here. I'm gonna get you in here, Sean, in a second. I'm sorry. Ooh,
They gatekeep, Joe. Oftentimes,
yeah.
those who's majority of our peoples who are financial free, they gatekeep a lot. I mean, like
Mhm.
I used to be part of the Chambers of Commerce here, and to me, I stopped going to the meetings probably after like 3 months. Like, man, y'all just gatekeeping. Like, why not give the people access? You telling me that you want people to join and pay $500 a year just for you to give them access to grants or loans or city contracts? Like, what's your whole purpose of gatekeeping? You know, if we don't spend the money, then they gonna take the money. They gonna give it to Hispanic chambers of commerce or the Jewish chamber of commerce. Like, just give the money out as much as you could. Matter of fact, I'm having an issue right now with a black magazine. I ain't gonna say their name, but one of their representative called me and said, "Hey, I need you to buy a cover. I got somebody want to buy 500 bow ties right now, right now, right now." I said, "All right, how much is the cover? How much is the page?" She says, $710. I said, "All right." I said, "Give me about 3 or 4 weeks. I'll come back at it." Waited 3 or 4 weeks. So I want to look up the magazine, and I seen that they only sold. They did good numbers. They had sold 44,000, I believe, 44,000 copies last year. But in my mind, it's not worth me paying $710. So when the representative called me back after 3 weeks, I said, "Hey man, do you have a small little ad page? Like I'd rather spend like $200 or $300." I said, "I don't think you got enough, followers or engagement, for me to spend that kind of money." I'm just
Right.
having an honest conversation. So the man said, "Nah, we don't have that offer." And then I heard a lady in the background say, "Give him the quarter page for $100." Like, and then he thought he muted the phone and he said, trying to get him by the whole page. He sell bow ties, he got money. Joe, I let him know that I heard what he said. He said, "Man, you want these people to buy these 500 bow ties?" I said, "I want you to stop gatekeeping, because if they want to buy 500 bow ties, then you'll connect them to me whether I buy an ad or whether I don't buy an ad."
Right. Right. And see,
And I said,
once again,
you only did 44,000 copies. And I said, I know this because I did my research. I said, if you go on my social media, on my Facebook, I have 34,000 followers. So pretty much I can advertise to my own people for
right.
free as I do every day, and I'm only gonna gain more followers. But it's not that I didn't want to support. It's just that it wasn't financial smart for me to do it. But he
Right.
he chose to gatekeep, and he been calling my phone for like 6 days straight. He called about 2 or 3 times a day, but he didn't get my message. Don't gatekeep. If these people really want to buy 500 bow ties, you'll send them to me. But
Right.
oftentimes, with our people in power or our people who has money, they actually gatekeep, and they often look down on those who don't have, or who's trying to have, or those who's trying to come up, because
Right.
it's a way of them to have some kind of bragging right to say, "I got more to you," or "I got what you wanted," or
Well,
"I got."
once again, I said, riddle me this, riddle me that. Why don't we do this? So, because I've done this before and it works. Why don't we say the following? I'm over the Chamber of Commerce. I'm not going to charge you a fee to become a part of this chamber. Once you become a part of this chamber, we're going to get you connected to make X amount of dollars. The first time you get a contract or you get a grant or you get a loan from being connected to this chamber, the moment that you cash in, then pay your fee, whatever that fee may be, to join this chamber. In other words, let us stop putting the cart in front of the horse. Let us stop asking for X amount of dollar for you to join a group. Let us tell you, if we believe that you are a quality member and need to join the group, join the group.
Mm-hmm.
Once you hold it, join the group with this, that if you stay in the group for a year or 6 months or however long, let's say 6 months to a year, call it either 6 months or a year. If you're a part of this group for 6 months or a year and you have not, in your opinion, received anything to help your business grow or any funding to make your business a better business, then you owe us a flat fee of X amount of dollars at the end of the year. However, if you have received funding, favor, connections, then it's a different fee. Let's say it's only a $200 fee. Let's say for the year, if you've been with us for a year and nothing happened, pay us $200 at the end of the year. However, if you have received major funding and your business has grown, then you owe us $1,000. It's either 200 if you feel like nothing happened, or $1,000 if something great happened. I think that is fair. Let me give it up for our Lamar Burton, our resident leader. Our reading is fundamental. I'm sorry, my brother. I thought I sent you the link, but I didn't. But I see you there, and eventually you loving it. I need some
Yeah,
fries and a shake too early this morning. It is Sean P with the Sean P Experience. Sean P, what's happening, my brother?
man, what's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing, family? Peace, peace to everybody watching now and later, watching on the playback, man. Peace, peace. How y'all doing?
Give me
Man,
some. Give me a cup of Joe, large.
hey, brother. Um, man, my heart hurting over this 21-year-old who it appears committed suicide at Delta State in
Yo,
Mississippi.
I was looking into this thing last night, man. So before I come on the mic, I'm sure all of us do. We're not on here just talking. We try to research and find facts and articles and everything. I was going through the Washington Post. I was going through all kind of major media I normally go to. I was not finding anything on this story.
Mm.
Well, the
You know
reason
what's crazy
being,
about that, Joe? I had to go on doggone TikTok of all places
come
to
on.
get some actual, I would say, on the ground media about this story. I don't want to spread stories around. They were saying the boy had broken arms and legs.
Nah,
How you break your arms and legs
and
and kill yourself?
okay, wait a minute. So that is been debunked because I read earlier. I have the official statement
Okay,
from the Bolivar County coroner
okay.
where I read it. I actually read it on this podcast. I know you were probably trying to get in and you were coming off of work. Um, the official statement on the official statement from the coroner says there was um no type of notable scratches, lacerations, no sign of struggle, no broken arms, no broken legs. So once again, that's the propaganda machine trying to excite us to feel a certain way when what really happened didn't happen. But we got to get
Mhm.
used to that. You have to understand when this situation, I want to bring it up again, when this situation happened with Charlie Kirk, which they're still running news stories about Charlie Kirk and the suspected killer of Charlie Kirk. The first thing they came out with and said this is some left-wing nut job that's out there mad at Charlie Kirk because he's spreading the good gospel truth of the great white man who happens to be conservative and Republican. And that all came out to be a lie. But ain't nobody came back and said, you know what?
We
This guy we
apologize.
described to you in a certain manner ain't the guy who did it. No, but watch this. But they even try to cover their tracks because even the governor of Utah said, "Oh yeah, he comes from a very conservative family. Yeah, he's a Trump supporter. However, he has been going toward left ideology." Left ideology. So here's what bothered me with that. And let's be very real because I'm getting into some real conversation. It's 34 minutes past the hour. Uh the truth about the matter is all of a sudden they're saying if you're a part of the LGBTQ plus community, you're a left thinking person. Well, that can't be true because last time I checked, Dick Cheney's daughters, who are very conservative, are lesbians. Yeah, Dick Cheney, the Dick Cheney. Yes, he has a daughter that is very conservative. So everybody who's a part of the LGBTQ community, A plus community, is not progressive and liberal and a Democrat. They are conservative people out there that belong to these groups. They're hold it. They're conservative people who belong to Antifa. They're conservative. See, here's the thing. It ceases to amaze me. There are conservative, there are Republicans that probably belong to the Black Panther movement right now. There are people that are inside certain groups. Just because you're a part of a certain group doesn't mean all of a sudden you belong to a certain political party. Man, y'all need to stop letting them feel y'all. They gas y'all up with thinking
Yeah.
certain
What is
folks
the
are
what's the
connected to
name of the
certain groups.
what is the name of the congressman or the senator out of the Republican who was gay out of New York went to jail. He went to jail for fraud. I think like 2 years ago.
Oh, Santos?
Yeah.
You talking about-
Yeah. Yeah.
So once again, a
What is you
certain
have? Isn't Tammy Baldwin gay too? She's a Republican.
I
Yeah,
don't
she's gay.
know.
Yeah, she's part of the community. I'm
I,
sorry for saying
I,
gay, but she's
I,
part of the LGBTQ. But I think it's probably about 6 or 7. So I don't even think that community have anything to do with it. I think they just want to play the blame game. and all the time they masses are not, because they're conservative views. Their masses, majority of them are not part of that community. So they say, hey, let's punch or let's point the finger over there to that, because obviously, Joe, as I said yesterday in my video, they couldn't say it was a black person who killed him because he was white, because it's Utah. So they had to blame another side. But when you think about it, Joe, you 58, 56, how old you is, Joe?
58. 58.
58. Sean P, you 42?
43.
43. So you guys been Democrats your whole life, right? And I've
No,
been Democrat.
no, I haven't.
Okay. How long are you Democrat? Are you a Democrat?
I am registered as a Democrat, but I haven't been a Democrat my whole life. I haven't been a registered Democrat my whole life, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, here's my point, Joe. My point that I was trying to make. Sean P, you're a Democrat, right? Sean P been a Democrat pretty much for, well, he ain't start voting till he was about 18. So I'm gonna say he
Yeah.
been a
Yeah, my
Democrat for,
adult life.
yeah. So I'm gonna say 23 years. You trying to say 23 years Sean P been a Democrat. He didn't think about killing a conservative person. You got people being Democrats for over 40, 50 years who have killed anyone. So this guy come from a mega family. And let's just say that he did decide to go Democrat. What we talking about? 1 or 2 years? There's nothing that he can learn in the Democratic Party within 1 or 2 years that make him say, "Hey, it's worth me killing somebody on the other side." It's not, the math is not mathing. I
Well,
think,
well,
I
well,
think, no, not. I think it was actually, I think it was more personal than a
political.
political. I don't think it have
Right,
nothing to do
right.
with
So
politics.
and see, once again, because this rhetoric that is being spewed out from the highest seat in the land, everything has to have some type of hate agenda. Everything has to be either anti this or anti that. And once again, I infer everyone on here who watches this podcast, who rocks with me, take a little time out from your day and watch V for Vendetta. Please go watch that movie. Please just sit down and watch the movie V for Vendetta. Because in that movie, though the movie is talking about what's going on in London, England, though the movie is based about a revolution in London, England, it shows you how government and corrupt government comes along when the people allow the individual who is the face of the party to be a person who can spew vile venom and convince the folks that these are the reasons that we need to make a change. Now, this playbook is not an old playbook. If you are a reader, and I'm glad Sean P, who is the reading man, is on here. If you read, have any of you even read My Kampf? Let's talk for a second, since everybody want to come on here and want to be the next social media sensation.
Mhm.
I've read Hitler's book, My Kampf. I read it. Man, I've read the Willie Lynch letters. I've read it. Talk to me, Sean.
I want to add. You mentioned the Hitler book, right? I want to add to the people. People got to realize where Hitler got a lot of his ideologies from was right here in the U.S.
Come on.
Right here in this backyard. And guess what? There was even certain parts of things that happened in the U.S. where Hitler said we ain't going that far with it.
Mm.
We ain't taking it that far. So there was even certain things that he wouldn't even do that was happening over here in the U.S.
That part.
Yep.
No,
Yeah, and you know what? I forgot what this guy said. It was he was one of Hitler's general. He came and spoke at my school when I was in middle school, and he said, had there been black people in Germany, that would have been his target. His target was the people who was less than him. So he was, and I agree with you, Sean, because this guy spoke about it. Hitler became obsessed with the whole racial tension in America, that he wanted to do it in Germany. So, not to say whether or not I think we actually escaped two demons instead of one demon, because we're still dealing with the demon that we're dealing with now. But it's like you have to question yourself, like, sometimes, are we actually studying our enemy, or paying attention to our enemy, or even paying attention to the signs that come out? Like when we look at these things that's going on right now, like, what are we really doing? You know, like HBCU's been on lockdown, right?
Right. They
Joe,
still are.
I'm just gonna say something, Joe.
They still are at high alert. I promise you that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say something, Joe. These little YNs or these dudes that's in the street, this is where the onks supposed to be. Hey, bro, you want to show how bad you is to one of us right now? They killing the good us right now. They plotting to harm the good us. What you need to do, you need to go over there to wherever what is Xavier University in Louisiana. Like, man, go protect those kids, man. Go to Grambling, go protect those kids.
Yeah,
You want to
hold the
die for
block down.
dope? Go
Hold the
go
block
die
down.
for these people who
Hold it
going
down.
yeah,
Yeah.
die for a
But
cause. We don't
the
need you
bow tie.
dying for a 3.5.
You know, we always say that MLK was nonviolent, right? People don't realize whenever he was in Chicago, the GDs and the Peace Stone Rangers, they looked out for that man.
Mm-hmm.
You in Chicago, they're touching him in Chicago. So hold the block down. Y'all won't be in the streets and all that. When it's time to stand up, go
Yeah.
out there and y'all take a post.
Yeah, yeah,
Take a
and right
post.
now, most of us don't really have no excuse, especially like in some of the southern states. Florida just became an open carry state last week, actually. So you don't have no excuse why you can't go get a legal firearm or why you can't even learn how to use certain guns or whatnot. Because most of these dudes in the hood, the only thing they don't know how to use, only thing they know how to use is a handgun. You know, they don't know nothing about rifles. 308 or they lame. Only thing they know is a handgun. But just my theory. I mean, like, do I think we should be on panic mode? For sure, because we're their target. But I also want us to set accountability. Hold on, we got all these dudes in the hood trying to prove that they hard, willing to kill somebody over 3.5, or over a bottle in a club, or over some shoes, or stepping on someone's shoes, or over a girl. Like, bro, the person who's going to save you, our peoples who become the doctor or lawyer to protect you, try to have you out of jail. You need to go protect them right now. Your number has been pulled right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's 43 minutes past the hour. And family, all I can say is pay attention. I've been saying this for a reason. Pay attention.
I was trying to do so much research last night on this situation too. He spoke about the other thing in Israel with Gaza. Man, I missed the whole Monday night football. Like, I ain't even try to pay attention to see who was playing. Like, I was like, hell happened? Like, what's going on? But hmm,
Well,
Israel is
like I
quite
said,
interesting.
and Elijah will be back with sports. I know Elijah's got a lot going on. It is that season. People who like myself, I just got back. So eventually, uh, San Diego must have beat the Raiders. Trying to look and see right now. Let's go NFL. See what happened. Okay, yeah, football Monday. Okay. So the Buccaneers, woo, it was very close. Texans, I was wanting them to win, but the Buccaneers won. Buccaneers
Yeah,
won,
that was
and
close. I saw that. That was close.
the Chargers won. The Chargers actually won very handily over the Raiders. So, sports is our way to release, to get away, to
Yeah,
enjoy. But you got to
yeah,
pay attention, y'all. Right
yeah,
now, this ground defense to occupy Gaza City is serious. I mean, it's all that's running on the news right now. I'm watching CNN right now. They're having the conversation, and once again, what is going on is attention worthy. I'm not telling you to worry about it, but pay attention. What happened with Charlie Kirk? Pay attention. This young man, we need to talk more about mental health. If it is proven that this young man committed suicide, what would provoke this young 21-year-old man at Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi, at a university that's not a historically black college, but a university that has a lot of history in Mississippi? Everybody don't get into Delta State. Delta
Mhm,
State is literally the Harvard of Mississippi. It is,
mhm.
it is better known as the Statesman. Most people are very political who go to that school. Uh, it's known as the Statement. Now we laugh because they're known as the Fighting Okras. The fighting, that's their mascot for the
Yeah,
football team, the
Okra.
Fighting
Yeah.
Okras. But that is a very prestigious university in the state of Mississippi. Everybody don't go to Delta State. Everybody can't get into Delta State. So how did this young man that got into Delta State winds up hanging himself from a tree on the campus of Delta State? And once
I said we
again,
gotta.
any black man, go ahead, Sean, I'm gonna give it to you. Any black
Huh.
man hanging from the tree in the South is not a good look. If he did it, if somebody else did, that's just not a good look. A black man hanging from the tree in the South, period.
And so many times with all these stories, you got to pretty much like take an emotional step back and let the facts play out. We want to be so fast and so on the trigger. You can't tell me in 24 hours they decided this and that in 24 hours. We decided this and that. I don't, because so many times we see months later, oh, come to find out it was this and not that. Or come to find out, we found out like we
Right,
see this
right.
time and time again historically.
Well, I
You
think
know
it's
what I'm
more of
saying?
the numbers game. If we can be blunt and honest with one another, do we have black people that kill themselves? Yes, but not many. And I don't think we even know of one particular black person say, "Let me get a rope and kill myself." Oftentimes, we kill ourselves either jumping off a building or shooting ourselves in the head or something like that, or poisoning ourselves or stuff like that. But never a rope because it attaches us, to the wrong thing, And I think even in our misery, we don't want to be attached to that thing because it will lead trauma or open more trauma doors for not only our people but for our family as well. But he's not from here. Once again, he's from Grenada, but I'm sure that he know of this history anyway, coming here. So but it just don't, and I think that's with us. That's why we're so confused because it doesn't line up with us. If there's a black person, if we ever known of a black person commit suicide, no matter what kind of stress or depression that they was going through, they never killed or harmed themselves with a
By
rope.
hanging, by
Yeah.
hanging, right? By hanging. Last time we even thought about an individual hanging himself was on the Shawshank Redemption when I
Hmm.
believe the brother said, "Wait a minute,
Morgan Freeman.
I ain't going out like Brooks. Brooks hung
Hmm.
himself. I ain't going out like Brooks. Let me go find this tree and find my
Hmm.
friend that left here. Let me find Andy Dufresne. I need to
Yeah.
find Andy Dufresne. Y'all need to read the book. The book is just as good as the movie. But listen, family, as we get 12 minutes to the top of the hour, right now, be in prayer for those folks who are going through whatever they may be going through throughout this world. There are people going through hunger. There's the working poor. There's homelessness. There's war and famine. There is hate. Somewhere I read in this book that I'm reading again from cover to cover that the most powerful thing in this universe is a thing called love. And what we need right now is more of us loving one another and not being envious, jealous, hockey counting, car watching, woman watching, house watching, thing watching. Guess what? We just need to love. We need to love each other. We need to love each other and we need to be loving. We need to show love to one another. Guess what? What you do to the least of them, I read in the book, you do unto me. Ask yourself, have you went to a homeless person without them with a sign or asking? Have you went to them and gave them a meal? Have you gave them something to drink? Have you been hospitable to them? Have you told them, brother, I don't know, or sister, I don't know why you're here, but you can get out of here. There's a way out. There's a way out. Have you gave words of encouragement to those lesser than you, or have you been sitting there too busy watching people above you and being jealous and envy, saying, I don't see how they got that car, that house, that woman, that man, that job? What are you doing? Because we've got to be in a place where we've got to be loving one another and showing love to one another. Brother Shah.
I totally co-sign agree everything you just said, Big Joe, man. I heard a powerful message at church this past Sunday, and he said that God could turn everything around. He can change anything. Nothing is too great.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is impossible. As long as we maintain that hope and like you're saying, that gratitude to others, man, that kindness to others. You know what I'm saying?
Brother
I believe
Bowtie.
that. I really
and,
believe
and
that.
do it and do it and do it without wanting any kind of recognition too. Just, just don't post it on social media. Or don't tell, because if you really want to do it, you really care about it, you care about it. You'll do it. Like I agree with you, Joe. Like feed someone, say hi to someone. I don't. Last week I had a message say, hey, go say hi to a stranger, go speak to a stranger. You big enough to protect yourself, so there's no more stranger danger. ask someone how they feel. And I think that's one of our biggest issues. We don't show no concerns. And I say this all the time on the show. And then when I talk to people in person, we have become too selfish that we're not concerned about, mankind, or we're not concerned about people, even in our own family. Man, Joe, me and you had a recent conversation, 2 or 3 weeks ago when I told you what was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be surprised, Joe, for 6 or 7 months. Only family member I ever spoke to in the last 6 or 7 months has been my brother and my two sons.
I
Now
wouldn't be surprised.
I done had two family members pass away within these last 6 months. No one said, "Hey, where Tonio at? Or
Right.
where Bow Tie at?" Now before this, Joe, every person that passed in my family, I carried every person casket, helped plan the funeral, even sung at some of the funerals, but nobody asked. So you have to extend your hand and stop being selfish. We stop being selfish. Where I stay at, man, my neighbor just moved out, and I'm not a Christian, Joe, but this lady used to leave a message on her door every morning for everybody in the apartment complex. And they'll have a Bible verse, and then she'll leave a word of encouragement. And she had a bowl, just tell you to take a candy. And she was dedicated. Like, she'll go knock on your door. "Hey, did you read my message on the door? I just want to make sure you got a candy." "Yeah, I read it. I read it. But I'm not Christian. But however, though, it used to motivate me. Like, I asked other neighbors, "Hey, did you read her message?" But we have to actually care and
Right.
stop
You
acting
got to
like,
do. Listen, I'm not telling you to do whatever, but do something. You
yeah.
know, I read something today that really motivated me. It said, "I don't know. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going. I wake up sometimes and I'm in full confusion. I don't know where I'm going. But here's what I do know. I'd be damned if I'm going back from whence I came.
Mm,
Might not know where I'm going, but I'd be damned if I go back from whence I came. Because all I can do is move forward. A lot of y'all ain't nothing but rocking horses. That's all y'all are. Y'all talk a lot, y'all post a lot,
mm.
y'all say a lot. But just like a rocking horse, all y'all doing is going back and forth. A lot of motion, but no forward movement. We need people who can help us as human beings, especially black and brown human beings, move forward.
When you look
Move
at
forward.
when you look at the issues that we have in our community, Joe, I am convinced, and I know this because I have did my own puzzle, my own research. We can actually fix majority of our issues in our community, but it just so happens that the gatekeepers choose not to. And I ain't even gonna say only the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers part of it, but how those who do make it out of our communities to become millionaires, oftentimes they don't want to return back and say, "Hey, let me do this, let me do that, let me make. Hey, I became a billionaire. At least I can do is make 10 or 100 millionaires, because it's not going to
Oh,
touch my
eh,
money."
that part. Yeah, hold it. Listen, in the 6 minutes to the hour, we're going to be out of here on the top of the hour. If you ever make it to the point of being a millionaire, go back and make 10 people thousandaires.
Mm,
If you get to be a billionaire, go back and hold it and make 10 people that look like you. Not just 10 people, because what we'll do is we'll make money and we'll go and elevate other folks to make money, and then it's all of a sudden we disconnect ourselves from the hood we grew up. No, go back to that same hood,
mm-hmm.
find you 10 people and elevate them, because there's 10 people that has the same level of intelligence, if not greater intelligence than you, that just haven't had the opportunity. And guess what? Intelligence sometimes does not denote that you will be financially successful.
No,
Uh, but honestly, let's be real. The most wealthy folks on this planet, most of them barely made it out of high school.
college
Barely
dropout,
made it. And
C students.
a very small amount of them even have any type of post-secondary education whatsoever.
Look at look at look look
Whatsoever.
at look at the young man that got on the live last week. Look
Come
at the
on.
president.
Look at
what what what
Charlie.
the- what
College.
Look,
what
Yeah,
what
hold
the
it.
pres
Look,
what the
look at
president
Charlie
said?
Kirk. Look at
Yep.
Charlie Kirk. I don't
Yep.
think he had a degree
He
hanging on
did.
the
He
wall.
did.
No,
He didn't.
no,
He
he
didn't.
dropped out of
Nope.
college after 3 months and ain't go high enough to even make it in the military.
So you
But
know, as we
also
get
look
ready
at
to
our
close,
president. What our president said Monday: smart people don't like him. I mean, Sunday, smart people don't like him.
and once again, like I said, what folks need to understand, and a person I had a deep conversation with that about. That's why I tell people I don't do organized religion no more. I can't go to the fashion show, car show. Let me see how your house look better than my show. I can't go to that show no more. If you're not talking about some spiritual substance that will literally bring me peace and love, because the two most powerful things I read in that Bible that and I read in other holy parchments, because I'm at the point of reading the Quran. The two most valuable things ain't money, ain't houses, ain't riches. It is peace and love. If you got peace and love conquers every king, beast, demon, monster out there. Y'all out there fighting the wrong fights. Y'all trying to see who can drive the better car, have the better job. Baby, let me tell you something. I just want to be at peace and know that I am loved. Long as I'm at peace, then I am loved and I am loving back. I'm good. That's just me. It is 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Listen, Sean, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to make sure I get you the link the right time. I thought I had sent it to you. That was my mistake. But I'm going to start off with you. I know we got the Sean P Experience. We got the Griot Podcast. I know you got stuff banging and coming. So show me what you're working with.
Here we go. Coming up next week, I got Dr. Ian K. Smith. That's right. You see them on Oprah Winfrey. You see them on the Steve Harvey Morning Show and many other places. This is his book, Beyond Midnight. It's a fictional book. The Ash Kane series. Joe, you would love it. I think this is the 4th book in the series. I had him on the podcast last year, and I got him coming back this year. Beyond Midnight. You don't want to miss it. Phenomenal, fast-paced crime thriller. Dr. Ian K. Smith on the Sean P Experience on YouTube. Tap in.
That part. Brother Bowtie, give it up, my friend.
What it is and what it ain't and what we're going to do about it. Let's talk about it. Let's do something about it. Listen, everybody, just have a great day. That's all I got to say. If you wish to support me, go to Bowtie Untied on all social media. If you wish to buy a bow tie or learn more about bow tie and get fashion advice, go to www.brothersbowties.com. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.
That's the scholar. Listen, once again, as I told you, pay attention. The Israelis are doing a ground offensive into Gaza City. There is war going on throughout this world, not only in Gaza, but other places that they're not talking about. There are folks who woke up this morning homeless. There are folks that woke up this morning that did not have what you have. Thankful for what you have. Grateful for what you have. Put yourself in a position to have a gratitude and an attitude that elevates not only you and yours, but those around you. Be better today than you were yesterday. Do something today to bless somebody somewhere, somehow, that no matter what you do, there's no earthly way they could ever pay you back. And always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. But when God is with you, nothing or no one stand against you. Be blessed. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow for Work It Out Wednesday. This is #Truth Be Told, JD Live. We up out of here. Peace.